We're planning our trip to Japan. My wife is running in a marathon. This is her 6th world marathon. She'll be getting a world marathon medal. She's completing the last of the 6 world marathons. However, we are planning our trip, looking through YouTube videos, figuring out how many yen to $1, looking for train passes, downloading all the documents we need to go through customs, and just making sure that we're ready for this trip. It's our first time to Japan. If you've been following along, we have been documenting our trips and just giving you a day-to-day as we see it. We are really excited about this trip to Japan. We land in Hadana, I don't know what it is, the airport in Japan, one of the airports. And we're actually going to stay at a hotel right there at the airport because it's going to be a long day. And we want to go to Kyoto or Kyoto? I don't know. Throughout this video, I'll probably have a hard time pronouncing a lot of these places. I'll do my best to let you know where we are and what we're doing. Also, if you've been following along, you know that my wife has celiac disease, so going to Japan is going to be quite the experience from what we can tell, trying to eat gluten-free. So I guess gluten is in everything. They add soy sauce to everything in Japan, and the soy sauce has gluten. The language barrier is going to be tougher than other places. The fact that they don't have a gluten problem in Japan, their health doesn't really show celiac disease as a problem in their country. I don't know why. I don't know if it's something that we're doing here that they're not doing there that's causing so many people to have celiac disease in the United States. We're going to figure it out as we go. We've been looking up gluten-free restaurants. I just booked a gluten-free restaurant, and it looks very exciting. It's called Teppan Tavern Tanmonya. Teppan Tavern Tanmonya, something like that. It's a very small restaurant. They only have 14 seats. You have to make your reservations ahead of time, but not too far ahead of time. So I was just able to make reservations today, which is February 18th, and I made it for a week from today. So you have to make sure that you do not make reservations more than a week in advance. They only have certain times that they do totally gluten-free. So it's 5 o'clock. They actually lock the doors. Nobody's allowed to come in. And it just seems like it's going to be a great experience. But we will see. So we're packing for our Japan trip. Here we go. So we are going in the end of February into March. So we weren't sure how cold it would be. We did find out that it was pretty chilly. So we're packed, ready to go. How far ahead do you pack? We're 1 day ahead. We're leaving in the morning, and we packed today. Found that if we pack too early, or I found if I pack too early, I pack too much. So we're up bright and early. Our flight leaves at 9:15 a.m. We're actually following this app that tells you how to avoid jet lag, so we're not having any coffee. We're gonna head into the airport. So we're at the airport. Made it in record time because it's Sunday and there was no traffic. So now we just got to figure out what gate our flight is at. So we took an Uber into the airport. We live about 30 minutes away from the airport. Sometimes we drive in and pay for parking on some trips, but longer trips like this, we found that just taking an Uber in is the easiest thing to do. So we're boarding the plane now. Logan Airport is where we're leaving out of Boston.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
12.
12, I think, yeah. The first leg of our flight is a short flight. We're flying to Detroit, and then from Detroit to Japan. So we made it to Detroit. First leg of our flight, like a 2.5 hour flight. It was on time. And now we have a small layover before we head from here to Tokyo. We still have not had coffee. So Detroit's airport seemed fairly nice. We did look for a restaurant that we could try to eat something that was gluten-free, but we really didn't find anything. We actually walked into a restaurant and sat down and then realized they didn't really have anything for Janet. So we left and we walked over to the Delta Lounge, where we have a platinum card that we can use for access. However, last year we did not spend enough. Our limit, we were supposed to spend, I guess, $75,000. We only spent $68,000, so I did not have a companion type thing. It was going to cost us $50. However, so we stopped at the Delta Sky Club because we have a American Express Platinum card. However, they were going to charge $50 to have a companion, and there's never really much there that's gluten-free. So as I was questioning it, a gentleman came up and said, "Can I take a guest in?" And she said yes. So he had a higher some sort of card that was better than mine, and he got Janet in for free, and I was able to get in for free. And there wasn't really anything that was gluten-free there, so now we're gonna go look to see if we can find something that Janet can eat. We never really found anything for Janet. I think she ate a little bit of something off the buffet.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to
settled in here.
Delta Flight 275 to Haneda, Japan. As you're locating your seat, I'd like to remind you that all your carry-on luggage.
So most of our flying is done on using points. We use either our Delta points or we use JetBlue. For this flight, Delta was the best option. I did, however, upgrade us to premium comfort for, I think it was about $200 each. So when you're flying, if you have any sort of allergy, make sure you log in and find where you can input that you need to have a certain meal. So we put in, well before the flight, we put in and made sure that Janet could have a gluten-free meal. So she finally got something to eat on the plane. She said it was pretty good. It was a chicken and something with a salad and so on. These crackers were also gluten-free. This little pizza roll, however, was not gluten-free. I got a pizza roll, and she got some little fruit and cheese plate with a piece of chocolate cake or something on there. So again, it wasn't bad, and a banana, as you can see. So it wasn't too bad for the gluten-free option. So she finally had something to eat. I ate the pizza twist, which really wasn't that great. So that's what we had on the flight. So we've been flying for how many hours? 12? We have 2 more to go. It's a long trip. So still no coffee. However, we did get some sleep while we were flying. We flew over Alaska, and I think, what is that, Bering Sea or something. It was pretty interesting to watch the route that we took to get to Japan. And here we are in Japan, landing. I believe we finally we were able to have a cup of coffee following that app that we followed.
ただいま羽田空港第3ターミナルに到着いたします。最初のお客様をでは本日日本へご乗り継ぎまたは別のターミナルから出発する国際
Here we are in Haneda Airport, heading towards customs. It was a fairly long walk. They did have the moving beltways that we took, but it was pretty far to customs. So we made it to Haneda Airport. Now we're heading to customs, and it's quite the walk. Here we are entering the customs area. It was fairly busy, however, it moved very fast, and we had filled out whatever we needed to fill out online. So all we used was a QR code when we needed to. We didn't have to fill out anything there as far as paperwork goes. So it's fairly smooth. So we made it through customs. It actually was quite easy, just a little You had to figure out some stuff, but it was very easy though. They were very helpful. You had to scan your face on a kiosk before you could leave. And then once you did that, you could just walk out through there was a gate that must do facial recognition. Also, I had a hard time going through the fingerprint portion of customs. And I believe it was because I had super glue previously from working on my fingers. So we're actually staying here at the airport at the Royal Park Hotel. So we just walked around the airport to figure out where it is. And now we're heading over there. I think we know where it is now. We found it. Royal Park Hotel. So this was the first time for us to actually stay in an airport hotel. This hotel was very, very nice, and we just felt like the day was going to be so long that we would opt for staying at the airport instead of taking more transportation to another hotel outside of the airport. The only thing that we could find for gluten-free for Janet that night was this little pork sandwich burger. It was the smaller version there that was prepackaged. So that's the end of day one, which actually carried into day two. And we're gonna go to bed. It's 8 o'clock. It was a long day.